Welcome to VO in Stereo, everyone. Please help me welcome Latin voiceover actor and radio personality phenom, Mr. Pepe Campa.
Hi, what an incredible presentation, introduction to the people. Hey, from Mexico City. Hi, how are you? Thanks for having me here. I'm ready, Jared.
Oh, thank you so much for being on. It's our pleasure to have you.
Welcome.
My
welcome.
pleasure. Thank you. Thank you, Stephen.
Absolutely. So we're just going to have some questions and we're going to learn more about Pepe and Pepe's adventures.
Sure.
All right?
Yeah,
So,
sure.
I'm going to hand the first question over to Stephen. We're going to go back and forth. We're going to learn more about you. I'm so excited to have you on. I can't wait to learn more.
It's very exciting.
Thank you. Ready? Sure.
So I've known you for a few years, but we haven't had a lot of time to sit down and talk. So I thought this would be a perfect place to sit down and talk, and for me to get to know you and for everybody else to get to know you.
Mm-hmm.
My first question to you is, where are you originally from?
I was born in Mexico City, 1971. I'm from Mexico City, Mexican.
That's a good year. I remember it well.
Year.
No, I was very small, but I'm sure it was a great year. Have you been there your whole life, or did you move around, or pretty much?
I've been living my whole life in Mexico City. Yeah, I have some work in other states of the Mexican Republic, like Aguascalientes and stuff like that. But my residential place is Mexico City always.
Nice.
And you're in Mexico City now?
Right now, I have my studio here, and most of my work, I do it here in Mexico City.
Awesome. Were you a creative kid?
I was a trouble kid, but everything always with the sounds. My mother and my father divorced when I was 9, and my father left a lot of stereo devices, all the stereo devices in a closet. So I discovered those devices and start making some kind of handmade stereos, no? Towers of speakers and 2 amplifiers connected in some kind of chain, and my neighbors going crazy. But I always loved music. I love music. Music is my life. Not playing like you, but listening. And I said, well, how can I be like a rock star without having to learn to play guitar or piano? And I heard the radio stations. I say, being a DJ or a host in a radio station must be something very close to a rock star, because you share the music with the audience. The audience gets crazy when you push the right button. So that's what more or less the starting of my troubled childhood.
That's awesome.
I grew up, around gadgets and stuff like that, and I've always wanted like the latest things. They called me the Gadget Kid growing up, so I always had the latest gadgets. So I know exactly what you mean. Building my own speakers and modifying vehicles to go faster and always that kind of crap. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, we're the same kind, my friend.
Exactly, the same creative craziness. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Completely.
And how did you get your first break into radio?
It was very fun, very curious, because I don't know how to call it. Call it destiny or the stars aligned. I don't know. But in the year 1992, I met a great guitarist, Mexican guitarist, called Julio Revueltas. He was a friend of my cousin. He had nothing special. We were not friends at that time, but we had a party, and I started putting the records as a DJ on the party. And he saw something in me. I don't know what it was, but he said, "Hey, you have talent for this. You should work on radio." And I said, "Well, you're crazy. Please give me your phone number. I'm going to introduce you to a very famous DJ in those years, Martin Hernandez." Martin Hernandez was the partner of Alejandro González Iñárritu, the movie director, but they worked on radio in the beginning of their careers. So I was a fan of Martin and Alejandro Gonzalez, and they left the radio for a time because they built a production company of movies, of TV spots, radio spots. And then it was an opportunity to me to start working with them, not on radio, but on this production studio called Z Audio. And I started there with my idols, and they were producing a show very famous in America called American Top 40. Oh, wow. I'm sure you know that show. But the Mexican version translated perfectly to Spanish, with the production and all the things made in Mexico, with the same script, with the same countdown, but a Mexican version, tropicalized, let's say. So he said, you have to start learning to split tapes with the reel-to-reel machines, and then record voices, compression, equalization, all the process. No? So I started to learn that, and suddenly one day in Christmas, I remember in 1990, that Christmas of 1992, he said, well, I'm on a vacation, so it's your job now to produce the show. What? Okay. So, and I started to produce the show. 1-2 shows. He gave me some time to catch the beat. And he said, okay, a well friend of mine, Charo Fernandez, a woman that was my idol too, because she was in the same radio station with González Iñárritu and Martin. She's going to come on December 22 to record the voices, because I'm not vacation honeymoon. I'm on my honeymoon. Okay, no problem. Charo never showed up. And I said, what the hell I had to make 40 reel-to-reel copies because there was no digital copies. I said, what am I going to do? I'm going to record the show. I don't give a damn. I'm going to record the show. I'm going to produce the show. This has to be on the air. The people is waiting, so I'm going to do it. And there's where I started reading the script, recording myself with the reel-to-reel tape, splicing the tape, and I delivered on time the show. No? When my boss came back, he said, what the heck you did? Well, okay, it's a nice attitude. Keep going. No? And then I start formally doing radio shows, and later I joined a team to a real radio station, Radioactive, in 1993, March 1993.
Wow. That is amazing. Trial by fire.
Yeah, exactly. Trial by fire. Yeah, my boss was very perfectionist on recording, equalizing, compressing, and I learned to be a very, very perfectionist in that kind of stuff.
But was that just the training in your room when you were a kid, or did you have formal training, or did you just figure it out as you went along?
I developed an instinct because, for example, Stephen, he knows very well how to mix the things on the console, but he knows where the signal is, and in the beginning for me was intuition. This works this way. If I move this, I like that sound. I'm not an engineer, no, I'm not a producer in the whole meaning of the word, but I know what I'm doing, and I know how a good voice sounds. And I started playing with the devices, and I started learning to get the voice and the sound that I wanted. It was a very, very creative moment. For example, one of our idols was 9 Inch Nails, Trent Reznor. Nice. As a meloman, as a lovers of music, I mean, on the radio station. Another, our Bible was the Achtung Baby album from U2 and the whole SUTV thing. So they were our idols and producing stuff. No? So we started to playing, distorting the voices for the radio station commercials, the promo spots. We distort the voices, the music, playing lots of addition, mixing. It was it was very estrident, very, very rough kind of radio. And I learned a lot how to play with the devices. No?
Yes, nice. Well, that is one way of that's one way of learning, is just being thrown in the deep end of the pool.
Exactly. So it's destroying sometimes, but that's how you learn.
Yes, it's either sink or swim.
Mm-hmm,
but
exactly.
You obviously swam. And so you were in radio for a long time, and and you were obviously a DJ and you spun records, but you also had bands come in to the radio station, correct? Lots of different bands.
I had lots of different what? Sorry, again.
Music bands, rock bands.
I met a lot of music bands in interviews.
Yes.
Yeah, sure.
I've seen Aerosmith and a bunch of people.
See,
so tell me more about that.
Yeah, I remember a quote from Roger Waters from Pink Floyd. He said, "Many people think that we are in rock and roll because we want to say something to the people and change the world. Not in your dreams. We are here because we want girls and money. No, later comes the good wishes and change the world. But the first, we're only here for the girls and the money. No, and it was the same thing. I wanted to be like many people on the air, in touch with people. And the second thing, very important, was to meet our idols, no, to interview them. It was a very, very.
I thought you were going to say young ladies, but okay, that works.
No young ladies, no, because I was 24/7 in the studio. I was a nerd of the studio, and I had no money, so girls.
That's true.
No. And suddenly I start interviewing people on the very radio station cabin. How do you call it? On the
studio.
Booth, on the studio, live on the air. And later I started making some trips to America to interview people. I have talked with a lot of people. Most of them, the most important, I guess, is the Rolling Stones with Mick Jagger and Keith Richards, and Bridges to Babylon, 1998. We had a chat with them. I had a chat with them. Incredible people, especially Keith Richards. He's a great guy. And Madonna, when the Ray of Light, when the Ray of Light record came to light, I interviewed her in Miami. Steven Tyler. That's very funny because that was in Mexico. They were they had a concert of the Get a Grip tour at the Sports Palace in Mexico City. I went there to interview the band. It was a meet and greet, not an interview. Right. But I came along with a friend of the university and a very pretty girlfriend. Not girl, a friend of mine. No, she was not my girl. She was a friend of mine, but she was very pretty.
Right.
Suddenly, I came on the meet and greet, and Joe Perry says, "Hi, how are you?" No, next to me, "Hi, how I'm Joe Perry." No? Like, "Hi, I'm Steven Tyler. I'm Tom Hamilton." All the Aerosmith guys next to me, trying to get the attention of my friend, and I was taking pictures. No. Okay, chat with them. Just give me your autograph here, please. Sure. No, I remember Joe Perry started trying to say she was carrying a big camera, a reflex camera, the old cameras, a Nikon, for example, and she had some problems with the shutter. No, and Joe Perry, I'm an expert in cameras. Let me show you. No, let me show you. The lens go this way. Yo, me with the Aerosmith friends, no, see all the pictures I wanted. So it was very, very funny, and many people more. That's great. This day, I remember
that day you learned a very good marketing trick.
Right? Yeah, exactly. I was 3 years ago on the air. Introducing my show, my new show. Then I had 3 years in Reactor with a show called Track Attack, and I said all this story, and some people started tweeting me saying, you are a machista. You know what a machista is? You discriminate women. You're using your friend to get your to Aerosmith. And I say, come on, they were there.
Yeah, you show the pictures too. If it happened to you,
absolutely,
be proud. Great story. That's an adventure.
Yeah, it was an adventure. No, and the last one. Well, I have a lot, but I can share you that one. And one day they say, "Okay, Campa, go to the Sport Palace, the same place, the main venue of concerts in Mexico at that time. 1994 or something, or 5, I don't remember, but there was a show of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. Remember it was the tour of the Walk into Clarksdale.
Yes.
They were together.
I remember
after
that.
No Quarter. And they say, okay, what am I going to do? Going to have an interview? No. In your dreams, you're going to be outside the venue, making phone calls and stuff like that. No? Okay, then. We're here in Sports Palace. In a few hours, going to be the show of Robert Plant and Jimmy Page. And then the tour manager came along and said, what are you doing now? We are from a radio station. Okay. Do you like the guys? Oh, we love it. Let's happen. Come with me, no? They took us to, you have this, las sillas, the chairs, the place where the people sits on the Sports Palace. But under that, there are many gyms because it was built to the Olympic Games in 1968 in Mexico. So there are a lot. And one of those, you have a basketball, ¿cómo se llaman? Courts under las gradas, under where the people sit. You go to a door, and there is a basketball
court.
Court, no? Okay, come here. We walk through a door, and all the set. They carry a lot of Indian musicians with very distinctive instruments. They were practicing. They say, for 5 people, you stand here. You cannot take pictures. You cannot ask autographs. I say, what the hell is going to happen here? Suddenly, Robert Plant came and Jimmy Page, 2 meters away from us. O sea, not even a coronavirus respectable distance. They were very close from us. They started playing Heartbreaker. They played 4 Sticks. And the most incredible thing is they were rehearsing. They had no compromise with us. And Page was with his burning cigar here, and Plant with the shirt opened. They were no acting. They were the same people on the stage and down the stage. No, suddenly it finished Heartbreaker. Everybody shocked, the 5 people there, and Plant said, "You didn't like it or what? No." No.
We're not worthy. We're not.
It's easy. No.
I'd be the same way. Just like,
no, it was great. We weren't expecting that. It was crazy.
That's an incredible
great moments that radio gives to you. No?
That is a great moment. Wow. Thank you for sharing that with us. That's incredible. Jared, do you have anything over there?
Absolutely. I was kind of surfing your photos earlier, and I've seen you've got some fans. What in your mind is the coolest thing a fan has done for you?
The coolest thing that a fan has done for me, they made a South Park small action figure, handmade.
That's very what short. I saw. I love those.
You saw it. That one, a fan made it handmade for me. It was beautiful. It was funny because I was very, very impressed, and I said to my community manager, I want to know this guy because to thank him in a personal way. So we invited him to have a breakfast. We saw him, and he was very kind. I thought it was. I was expecting a very artistical guy, I don't know, with glasses and very shy. No, it was this guy 2 meters tall. No? He's a bodyguard.
Oh, wow.
A security guard trained in Israel. It's a killer machine way. I used to have people, actually many bands like King Crimson, contract him, hire him to security personnel, and he has a lot of stories behind the doors and in the hotels that he has saw with many artists. That's another story. So I saw him. He was very strong guy, giant guy, making small artistic pieces. That I say, wow, this is great. No? I think it's the best thing a fan has gave me. In a material thing, talking about material things.
Yes, sir. Man, that was awesome because that's exactly what I saw. and I picked out, and I was like, that is so cool. Yeah, that's all right. So I'm a bigger guy. What is your comfort food?
My comfort food.
Mm-hmm. Like
My
soul
comfort
food.
My soul food. Soul food. My
Um,
soul food is music. Am I answering what you're asking me?
yeah.
My soul food 24/7 is music. My wife laughs at me because I have a Bluetooth speakers everywhere in the house. No, I buy another one, and I'm always at breakfast. I put Bill Evans, no, to my kids, no, and suddenly I'm washing the dishes and I put Led Zeppelin, no. All the time I need the music with me in the car and everywhere I am. That's my soul food completely since I was a kid.
Yes, Pepe needs his background,
Right.
his
That's
music for his background of his life.
that's amazing. Well, that leads me into my next question. So, other than music, because music is everything, other than music, how does Pepe take care of Pepe? How do you self-care for Pepe?
Well, I like food. I like food a lot. I like great moments. Food is a good reason to join with the family, with the friends. In Mexico, it's a tradition. We use food time to connect with each other, no? To rest from the world and put our attention in another thing. The best ways through food. So I like it. I like to have a meal with my friends. I like to have a meal with my family, or sometimes alone. That's where I have some rest and some even spiritual moments, reflecting moments. I love food. I don't like TV, for example. I'm not enough patient to see the series on the Netflix, on the Amazon. I see one or two chapters where I leave it. I have more patience to music and to food. I have to control my appetite, but I love
That's
those
funny.
moments.
We are alike in that way, where I don't like to watch a lot of TV, and if I do start something, I never finish the series. I always just kind of end up in here again.
Uh-huh. I'm a little bit addicted to the cellular, to the mobile, to the ya sabes, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But it doesn't mean that I really like it, but I'm very hanging on that, and
You're
sometimes I
connected
get
to it. Yeah.
say sometimes I'm too much spend too much time connected, and I don't like it. But I spend a lot of time there checking my social network, or getting the news because I'm gonna have a show, a radio show, learning more things. But sometimes I want to throw that device away.
I feel that too. It does take
Mhm.
up a lot of time, and I'd rather be doing other things. But yeah, it's good to get away from it.
Mhm. And finally, I love to read. I love to read. I love biographies, and I love. I'm reading right now. Howard Stern comes again.
Oh
Howard
yeah,
Stern comes again, because
yes,
coming from Howard Stern, you have to be careful with the titles of his
that's
books.
true.
No?
That's true.
Howard Stern comes again, and
True.
it's a compilation of his best interviews. Very
Yep.
interesting, and
Yep.
reading that.
Yeah, he does really great interviews.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
great
give him
interviewer.
that.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to learn some stuff from people like Howard Stern.
Certainly, there's a lot to learn for sure. Um, Let me ask you, uh, was there like a an influence, like a person that was in your life that kind of helped you get to like the next level, or was it just kind of you and you making that effort in the studio, and then your manager was like, "Hey, this is great. Can you do more?"
My first mentor was my mother, because she never was an obstacle for me to listen to my music. I have these posters, ACDC posters on the very entrance of our apartment, and on the walls with Highway to
Yep.
Hell. My mother didn't say a word, never. She respected all my spaces,
Interesting.
And I really appreciate that. She never judged me because of the music I was listening to, and that was an open road for me. If you're not gonna help, just don't be an obstacle in the life
Yes,
of your
don't get in the way.
children.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Exactly. Don't get in the way. And later, my main mentor was Martin Hernandez, that great voice from the Mexican radio.
yeah.
And Alejandro González Iñárritu, and later another great voice of the Mexican radio called Adolfo Fernández Cepeda. He's the king of the Beatles radio in Mexico since 1962, when the Beatlemania came to Mexico, arrived to Mexico. He was the first to play the Beatles on the air, and he's still alive. He has 83 years old.
Wow.
And he's an institution, and I had the opportunity to work 7 years with him on a radio station called Universal Stereo from Grupo Radio Centro, one of the biggest groups and radio stations in Latin America. It was a pleasure, and he's my friend. I'm still learning from him every time we can see each other.
And when do you walk around in Mexico, do people know who you are and walk up and bother you while you're walking up down the street?
I love radio because in the beginning there was no social media,
right?
So we were more anonymous than we wanted. No, sometimes you wanted to be recognized, but it was very rare. Maybe in some environments on the radio, Congress or stuff like that, or party from the radio station. Hey, there's Pepe Campa, the DJ, the host. Okay. But that was it. After the rise of the social network, it's very different. More people knows you physically, but it's not an excess like television. I made a few television shows 10 years ago, and one day I was walking in Acapulco. It's a very famous beach in Mexico, and people started stopping me and saying, "You are Pepe Campa. I saw you in Telehit. It was a cable channel from music. I made some shows." Yeah. And I said, "It's fine," but I was scared because I said, "How they can recognize you that way?" I didn't like it, not so much as the half anonymity, half fame that radio gives you. The people who recognize you is because they like your job, not only because you appear on a screen.
That's true.
You're interested in what you do too.
Mm-hmm, exactly. That's has more value for me because they say, "I heard you last week. You put that song from Genesis. I love it. I never heard that song on the radio." That's more. That fits me more than just, "Oh, you're the radio guy. Nice to meet you. Selfie." No? Yeah, I don't have problem with that. I love people that approaches to me. But yeah, I connect with the other people that's interested in you and knows your job.
I love that.
How do you know Mario Filio?
Mande?
How do you know Mario Filio?
Mario, it was a very great way to know each other. I knew him. He didn't know me. I knew him because he has a longer career than mine. I heard him in a lot of radio spots. He had an account called Comercial Mexicana in Mexico that covered all the national territory. Comercial Mexicana is like Target or like Walmart, but in Mexico. So it's a Mexican company, and Mario was the voice of that. I knew him a lot, but not very well. So, and one day we had a casting in the same place. One casting in the same place. And I said, "You are Mario Filio." And he recognized me. I don't know why, but you're Pepe Campa. Nice to meet you. And he started saying, "Last week we had a master class in my school because he has some kind of studio school for hosts, for voiceovers. And we put I am the voice of Sears Mexico since 2005, 15 years ago. I started with Sears."
Wow.
And he said, "We have an exercising class and we play some of your Sears spots to make an example of how you have to pronounce when you speak fast and stuff like that." Honestly, I said, are you being honest? I don't know. No? Because, Mario Filio, listening to my radio spots. And go away.
Unbelievable, right? Yeah.
Unbelievable. And a few days later, I met with another great voiceover. Era Ana María, I forgot, la de producción coordinada, remember, Stephen? Producción coordinada, it's a agency of voiceovers in Mexico. Don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Ana María. She's a big voice. No?
Mm-hmm.
Ana María, how are you? I'm fine, thank you. The other day, I was with Mario Filio giving a class, and we play some of your radio spots. And I say, he was telling the truth.
He was,
and I loved him. It's very rare to receive a commentary, a honest commentary from a person that has more experience than you, and is more famous than you, had a more solid career. He's a monster in the voiceover media here, and I felt very honored to receive that commentary from Mario, from Ana. And next time I saw him, I was opened. I say, this guy is honest. I want him to be my friend, and I'm not going to let him go. No? And the last time was opportunity to be together was in the VO Atlanta, and then we get even closer. And I really appreciate, I admire him, and I love him as a friend.
Yes.
Actually, I interviewed him a couple of weeks ago in an Instagram live section that I have on Thursdays. It was a great chat with him.
Yes, I was looking forward to being with all of you at VO Atlanta, but it just didn't happen for us, unfortunately. Cool. But yeah, that would have been a good time because Jared was going to go as well. So,
Jared, your little paréntesis, your last name is Breeze.
Oh, I'm sorry. I keep forgetting to fix it every time we do the Breshers.
Breshers, okay, because my wife, her last name is Bres, B-R-E-S. So I saw it. It's the same last name, no?
We're cousins.
Cousin Jared. I'm
familia.
Ready. Mi familia. Pepe Campa los quiere mucho.
Your name is so much fun to say.
Yeah.
So much fun.
I'm a very lucky guy. My real name is Jose Francisco Campa, and the second last name is Po, P-W. But this is Spanish, so you say Po. And one day you have to choose your stage name, no? So I was thinking the easiest way is Pepe Campa, no? Pepe Campa, porque Jose is like Jose is Pepe, pater putativus of Jesus, no? So you know what I'm talking about?
I'm following you.
They calling us in Mexico Jose Pepe because Jose was the putative father of Jesus, and they used to write it P Pepe. So they started calling Jose's Pepes in Spain and Mexico. No? That's why it's like Joe, but they call us Pepe. No,
right?
Pepe is very easy to catch, and my first last name was very easy. So from the beginning, I say I'm Pepe Campa. No?
It rolls off the tongue really well.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'm learning. This is awesome. Yeah.
We must have said your name like 500 times before the show anyway. We were just like, Pepe Campa, Pepe Campa.
You know what? I'm not embarrassed. It's fun.
You have a great stage name too, no?
Jared, thank you.
Yes,
Jared Breshers.
So it sounds great. Stephen, your last name has some problems of pronunciation.
My last name is ridiculous. Yes. Everybody trips over it. Even though if you spell it, it's very simple, but when you try to pronounce it, nobody can do it.
Coghill.
It's just Coghill. That's it. But yeah.
Coghill.
It's always been a problem.
That's the story of the name.
Yes. I've always been a problem, I guess. Maybe that's the synonymous with each other. Well, I gotta. So, Jared, any questions left on your palette?
Well, I was just gonna ask you. I mean, if what's going on right now in the world has affected you at all, whether it be work or emotionally, or just you in general, because situations are kind of changed, and I don't think there will be a new normal.
Yeah, well, this has been a very weird year for all of us. In my specific case, it was a very hard beginning of the pandemia because I used to be, I was 7 years in the National Hour, La Hora Nacional. It was a show broadcasted every Sunday, 10 p.m. to the whole national Mexican territory, the whole all the radio stations were broadcasting that show at 10 p.m. every Sunday. It was great. I had a lot of experience, a lot of interviews with Mexican personalities of music, politics, you name it. And when the pandemic started, we changed the sexenio. Sexenio is the presidential period, and every presidential period has its own voices on the national hour. So it was time for my co-host and me to leave. But it was at the very beginning of the pandemic. So we started, I was very excited because I said, I can help. I can do a difference on radio with the pandemic, entertaining people, informing people. And suddenly that went away, that disappeared. And that radio is, that's the way radio works. No? You're here today, gone tomorrow. No? The air takes away everything that the antenna broadcasts. It's very volatile, como se dice. It fades away very fast from the mind of people. It's the price, no? Pero and I as a voiceover, I've been working on distance with making dubbings with Su Digital, no? I started making dub voices, the doblaje, with the Su Digital, and I've been trying to keep calm because the clients, the main clients, just freeze over and didn't spend a dime in publicity. All the schedules were stopped for 5 months. Well, no, 4 months. Sears, for example, suddenly stopped. Disney, I used to work with Disney. Disney stopped. The premieres were stopped. Everything was stopped because other people keeps with their work, no, in the office here and that. But the publicity stopped. Right. And the most difficult thing to work with was the incertidumbre, the doubt. Will the clients come back? We'll be doing the same. But not destiny. What is your mystery? No, you have to pay the schools. You have to pay the food is not so. No. You fix that in other ways, but the school's payment, no, the rent, all that stuff starts making pressure, no. So we had some savings. We had to take them. It has been hard, but the thing is, I want to get something of all this mess. And so I had been pushing to change many mistakes that I used to make in the past, and trying to reconnect with many friends and trying to expand my limits. No? As I told you, I never did the dubbing, no, voiceover yet, but dubbing on movies. And I started doing Dr. Dolittle, the Spanish dub here. I made the bad guy. As the Scooby-Doo, some opportunities that came along, and I'm trying to be prepared to seize it, no? Para aprovecharlas, no? To catch that opportunities.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing your story with me. I really appreciate you being open with us.
Yeah, no, we're humans, and the world is globalized. Now we know each other more than the past, that 30 years ago. Many clients are paying the half of the money. Like many people are having the half of the wage. Everything is in the same situation. We have to learn to be patient, to put our eyes in the real important things, no? In life, family, health, love. And I hope that we can make more solid values and put our vision in the right place. So all this mess, all this crisis becomes an opportunity to be a better person. So that's all we can get from this lesson.
Yeah, I agree.
I love you even more now. I didn't think it was possible, but then he went and said that, so now I love him even more. I'm going to hand it over to Steven if Steven has anything else.
I do. Let me ask you a question, because you talk about radio and kind of, where it's going, and it's kind of up in the air. Nobody really knows where radio is going. In fact, iHeartRadio has been, kind of dismantling and kind of telling everybody to go home and kind of laying off a bunch of people. Do you think radio is in decline in general, and is it in decline in Mexico?
I don't think it's declining. I think it's transforming. We have a lot of situations here. The main companies are dismantling, are downsizing, many of them.
Yes.
Changing powers. We have a Mexican Spanish radio broadcast here, Televisa Radio, that last week was taken for a group of business people. They have this battle for the control of the radio station. So it's a crisis, but as a mass media, I don't think it's declining. It's transforming. It's trying to take a new path. That's what it needs. I don't want that radio lives what television lived here in Mexico. Televisa, for example, the biggest TV enterprise, and TV Azteca, the second one, they were eating tons of shit when Netflix came, and they say, "Nah, we are so powerful, nothing's gonna happen," and suddenly the cultures change, the habits change, and suddenly they almost disappear. Or if you see the titans that they were, now there's nothing about that. They fired a lot of people, downsized, no? But they were so suburb, they say, Netflix, what the hell is that? I hope that radio doesn't have a Netflix, an equal to Netflix, thank God, yet. But they have to be very, very with the eye open, well opened, very focused on how they're gonna give the next step to the future, because the future is here. There's no way back. And my son, both of my sons almost doesn't hear radio. They're all the time in YouTube or listen to the Spotify. They are not building an ear to the radio. And that me preocupa, no? That worries me, because the next I have no problem. My generation has no problem. We love radio, yeah. But the next generation, if suddenly they stop listening to radio, what this radio station is going to do? They have to be prepared to make attractive contents to attract this new generation. And I think they very not suburb. No, they're not so worried. They are not so worried as they should have. As they should. They're not so worried as they should. They should pay more attention for what's coming.
Yeah, because it's changing all the time, and I think video is becoming key. Everybody kind of wants to. Nobody learns how to read anymore. I don't know how to read. Do you know how to read? And video is becoming king. Everybody wants to just see somebody do it for them or show them how, or that sort of thing. I think that's becoming like kind of the new thing. That video is becoming king, and everything else is everything else.
Yes. I think from many great inventos, ¿cómo se dice? Devices that many people invent, like the bulb or the telephone, and you name it, anything you want. when something new emerged and had success, there are winners and losers. For example, when the streaming Netflix came, a lot of people was winner. The people who knew what is going to happen, the new producers, the new directors, the people who works with the stream platforms, they were the winners. The losers were the traditional TV companies.
Right.
Always there's a winner and loser. No? When people was using trains in the 50s, well, in Mexico, no? For example, in the 50s, and suddenly came the aviation, the airplanes. Many people say it's the end of the trains. No, the trains were used to do some things, and the airplanes were used to do other things. But the transportation was transformed. No, and there were winners and losers.
Yes.
But we have to adapt to the times. No, we have to take the same form of the times.
Yeah, that's true. But it's like that for a lot of things where it changes, doesn't really go away, but it finds new purpose.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, that's fascinating. So what kind of voiceover stuff? You said you're doing some films now.
Last December I made in Dr. Dolittle.
That's awesome.
It was give me a second. My son remembers the character. Alex. Yeah. I remember. Nada. Blair Mudfly. That was the evil guy. I was the voice in Spanish, and I made in Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
I made Kid. Kid is the introducer of Phantom from Space. That character, no? Fantasma del Espacio. Fabulman, we call it the different ways here. But it's Space Phantom or Phantom from Space. And I'm the introducer. Now we have con ustedes el increíble, el fabuloso, el gran Fabulman. Kid is the name of the character. And I was working on Trolls, the second movie. Wow. It's going to be premiered in September 24 here in Mexico, all because of the coronavirus. It was, and I play two parts, a sheriff with a big mustaches and a rowdy that it's the guy from the door and a concert, no? And it's very fun. Those are my baby steps in dubbing a professional in a big way. No?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's been awesome.
That's what Jared wants to do.
Yes, I would do a lot more ADR. Yes, or some ADR would be nice. Yeah.
To be honest, the radio helped me to do that because with the National Hour, many people have me in mind when I came to these companies. They say, Pepe Campa, sí, de la hora nacional, sí, that gave them more confidence in me, no?
Your abilities,
my abilities. No? It was unexpected, to be honest with you. I said, really? Am I doing this job? But as a producer, it was in some ways more easy than maybe for other persons to understand the directions, the signals of what the director wanted. No, but I'm a baby steps guy, never comparing with people like Mario Filio, all that guys that have all the experience. No,
that's like the same. That's like the same feeling you have when you're walking down the beach. And people said, "Hey, it's Pepe Campa," and you're like, "Oh, really?" They had that same confidence in you when you walked in. They're like, "Hey, it's Pepe Campa," and you're like, "Yeah, it's me. Sure,
it's just me. What can I do? I can't help it."
Right.
So,
are your kids interested in this? Are your kids?
My kids are very. I started working with them. I used to work the CR's radio spots at home sometimes. And they came to me and said, "Daddy, can I do something?" And suddenly, for example, el mes del niño, el día del niño, the Children's Day, April 30, it's the same in America. I don't remember. The Día del Niño, no?
Yeah, like bring your kids to work day.
Exactly, stuff like that. And they started to make some voices. They became very confident in front of the microphone, and now. They make voices for TV commercials and radio spots. And my child of 11. ¿Cómo se dice el chiquito? The small one.
Are you trying to remember his name? Did you forget your name?
How did I call him? Alejandro. Let me show them. Let me show you my Alejandro. Now is a YouTuber. He's
he's
YouTube
a YouTuber now.
He loves video games. He doesn't show his face, but he narrates all the video games. Like Roblox and stuff like that, and his friends.
He's got a Nightmare Before Christmas T-shirt on.
Exactly. He's a fan of Tim Burton.
I don't miss the
trick. Big one. The big one, it has 15 years.
Wow.
He's in adolescence, so. But he is making some commercials. All the castings and stuff like that, they love their work. So
wow.
My idea, maybe someday. I don't care if they don't want to give their lives to the voiceover. It's a personal decision, but I want to give them a tool to survive in any way. You're at the middle of the university. You need some money because or you want to travel or do something. You have your voiceover job. You do it well. You can do all those things. No, it's an extra money.
Yes, and giving them skills
with passion, with respect to your job, respect to the microphone. Doing it well, but it's an extra income of money. And if they love that and want to give their lives to the voiceover job, be my guest. No?
And how's the Mexican voiceover community? Is that a fairly large community?
It's a very large community. The thing is that I would like it to be more solid, more caring for each other. We are everybody's on their own way because we have experience with many agencies that didn't work and broke people's heart, didn't pay the money that they had to pay. And many important people took their own path and they operate their services in a solitary way or through the agencies, but they're very popular voices. So we're trying to create new societies, ¿cómo llamar? New communities, exacto. Por ejemplo, esta de, ¿cómo se llama esta? Ahorita te digo. Bueno, we're trying to create a lot of communities. We're doing voice masters. No? We try to attempt there to be in contact. No, the thing is, I told you many devices, many inventos, many technology. There are winners and losers. We won a lot with the internet to make castings on distance, stuff like that. No, but all the community is not so solid because 25 years ago, you had to go to the castings. And I see you there, Jared and Steven. How are you? We had a chat, person to person. Right. Now it's my turn. I'll be back. Wait. Hi, how was it? Great. Thank you. Oh, yeah, Jared, let's take a coffee next week. No? Personal contact. And now everything is through Zoom is too much. Through the mails, and I give you back the voices, through MP3. So there's a lack of human contact and human relationships. I would like to recover that using the technology because it's a good idea, but trying to find a way to be more close and never give space to the personal encounters, person to person, to meet each other as humans, not only voices.
Yes,
awesome.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. What and how important is it for people to have like recording stuff in their house, like to be able to record stuff? Is that really super important in Mexico, or is that not really a thought?
Recording stuff. What do you mean with recording stuff?
Well, I mean, like if you had to record, if you were a voiceover guy and you had to record something, especially during the pandemic, is it important to have a recording place to record in your house?
Okay, sí. Well, this is not about the pandemic. Since 10 years, more or less, let's say 5 years before, many of my friends, I saw them, started taking care of having a space in their own home, because we started with the MP3 castings. Many people started saying, no, I'm not going there, because our city is very chaotic. It's a chaos to live in Mexico City, and if you go from point A to point B, and there are 10 kilometers, you can do 1 hour, 2 hours. It's very difficult to.
I remember.
There's no, the metro is very small. You cannot translate to many parts of the city because it's very big. It's very, very big.
Yes.
And chaotic. So we started with the MP3 castings, and then everybody didn't want to be left behind and started to conditionate their own homes, their own home studios. And now, some people have their home studios, but they don't know the art of recording a voice properly. So they work with castings, it's fine, but when they are picked or chosen, they have to go to the studio, the proper studio, and stuff like that. And other voiceovers are learning to record properly a voice, and they can send their takes of being directed through the telephone or through a voice call. No? Exactly. Through Zoom, you can direct somebody to record through this way, through Zoom.
Yep.
But you need the proper equipment, not the most expensive equipment, but the proper equipment, the proper environment, etc. For example, I have this Yeti Blue microphone for a Zoom. There's no problem. But if you want to record something more seriously, I have all this. I had my own studio, but now with the pandemic, I have some things here. No, I have this mouse, blue mouse here.
Nice.
And I have some AKGs and other microphones at the studio to make more serious recordings. No? So we're in between that. The few voiceovers that making professional recordings. I'm a producer. I don't have problem. I knew how to record voices before making voices. So there's no problem for me. But many of them I'm making great efforts to professionalize their recordings. The other that don't give a damn for the recording, they just send the castings. No? But I haven't been in a VO agency for months or years. Everything's through the net.
Yep. Yeah, I think it's going to become more important for everyone to kind of know how to record themselves. Yeah, have the proper equipment and to be able to do that moving forward, especially since the pandemic doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere anytime soon.
No. And it happens like a home office. Last week I was with a friend. He manages a magazine here in Mexico, and he said, frankly, my dear friend, I'm gonna close the offices because it's a lot of money that I spend every month, and everybody can work at home. Obviously, not for everybody it's so easy to work at their own home office, but sometimes it works. And this is the same. Once that people have no more fear of let a voiceover record in a good way a voice, there's no problem. We're gonna get used to that kind of things. Before the pandemic, I can assure you that most of the production studios and the VO agencies were afraid that he cannot record the voice. He has no experience. No? But many, as I told you, many of the voiceovers now have experience recording voices, and suddenly it's less personal but more effective to send it through the wires. No?
That's true. Right. It makes it easier for everybody, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Do you do any coaching yourself?
Any coaching? You mean that I teach?
Like do you help anybody kind of find their own voice and kind of make it like you are?
I don't feel with enough experience in that way to motivate somebody. I do it on radio, but with people who is close to me. For example, my assistant. She works with the telephone lines that are still existing in the radio station and the social network. She's there because she loves radio. So I tried, like when you like teaching to drive to my son, no, the 15-year-old. This way, look at this. I'm going to turn this. I put the directional, no? Push the pedal down the same way. I tell her, okay, I'm going to talk about this. Look, I have these lines. I'm going to improvise and gonna listen. And she has her headphones listening to the mixing, and she sees what I do and how I do, because I do everything thanks to technology. I don't need the producer in the radio station anymore. He only opens the pot, and me as a producer with a DJ Pro and the Spotify and all those things, I produce my own show, the music to dress the voices, the sync points, everything I do it on my own with my computer. So she's learning how to do it this way. That is more her way than mine, and she's learning. That's what I do. As a voiceover, I live to the professionals that had schools like Mario Filio, locutores.com, and other voiceover agencies that have business in this way, no, showing people, giving them classes with voiceovers experts, no. But see, I try to give back to some people. My great project now, I used to give classes at the universities in Mexico, radio classes. I have been in 3 of the major universities, Iberoamericana, Anáhuac, and WIC, 3 universities, a few years ago, but suddenly they changed the conditions to be a professor. You have to, you need a posgrado, a higher degree, no?
Yep.
So in September, I'm going to start doing a maestria, a posgrado, a higher level title, or
master's degree.
A master, exactly, a master. That's a master, 2 years master, because I want to go back to the universities and still having these classes, sharing my experience with the new generations interested on radio and production, and of course voiceover. But that's the way I like it.
That's the way. Couple likes it.
Exactly. I love that way because I'm in a classroom directly with people, with young people that gives you that energy.
Yes.
I love to give that way lessons. And that's my project in 2 years from now.
Well, let's hope we can all get back to that.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. This has been by far one of the best adventures in storytelling and learning and perspectives that I've had in quite some time.
I can talk to Pepe like all night, and we would never shut up. That's our problem every time we get together. Isn't that right, Pepe?
bloop, 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 bloop.
Well, this is great. I really appreciate you coming on. You are a fantastic guest, and we loved hearing all your stories. And we wish you the best of luck. We think you're awesome.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
So beautiful. Beautiful human being. It's my pleasure.
Our pleasure. It really is. If you ever get a chance to meet Pepe, come up and say, hey, Pepe Campa, I know you are Pepe Campa.
You know me. You know me.
I'm gonna just.
You know who I am.
I'm like, I'm gonna give me some Pepe.
Thank you, Jared. But if you come to Mexico, I'm here. Just give me a ring. If I go, where exactly you? Because I'm lost in your
right in the north of Atlanta, 20 minutes north of Atlanta.
Yeah, so he's in Georgia.
If we go to another, I don't know the next year or the other year, to view Atlanta, we can get together there, no, Stephen?
We can.
Absolutely.
Yes, if they have it, we will be there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we had that planned. We leave it ready when we go to Atlanta.
Absolutely.
That's right. We get Jorge and Juana, and we get them all. We all meet.
Ándale, sí. Juana, claro. Juana Plata, claro.
Jorge.
Don't threaten me with a good time.
All those folks. We need to all get them together.
So, Pepe, before I let you go, is there anything that you want to say to everyone out there? Or any message you want to send? Where can they find you? I mean, just give us some more information about Pepe before we let you go on another adventure.
Well, if you want to contact me or see what I'm doing, even my radio shows, I will love if you can listen to my radio shows. I put a podcast every Tuesday on my website, pepecampa.com. That's easy. pepecampa.com. And you can find my social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, right there in my official website. And you can find my 5 last radio shows there, recorded completely with the music and everything. So that's what I do every Sunday. That's my passion. That's what I do because I love music and I love radio. You can have a sample of what I do there. My show name is Track Attack. Actually, Track Attack is inspired by King Crimson and a record from King Crimson. And we have some guests. Tony Levin was here, the bass player of King Crimson, and Peter Gabriel was there. Steven Wilson was there. And very, very, very fun. And when we don't have guests, we have friends, and it's very, very fun. And sometimes, most of them, it's myself, and I with music, sharing with people.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, exactly, my friend. But
music brings people together.
Take a look, and if you want to give your life to the radio, to the VO, any dream that you have, just be patient and never give up. It's a matter of patience and never give up.
Awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you heard it from Pepe Campa himself. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in again to VO in Stereo. I'm blown away. I'm Jared Breshers.
I'm Stephen Coghill.
And with the wonderful, glorious Pepe Campa.
Thank you very much, my friends.
Everyone, be loved. Have a great time.
Take care.
Take care.
Thank you.